Hi, I'm Tim Modise, and thanks for joining me as once again we focus on opportunity, growth and empowerment that is taking place within the South African economy. This time around, the spotlight falls on ABSIP's 10th Annual Financial Services Award ceremony that took place in Johannesburg. At this event, we heard from the president of ABSIP, Trifosa Ramano, as well as the Deputy Minister, Nhlanhla Nene. We will be bringing you some of the highlights of the event, the 10th Annual Award Ceremony of ABSIP, throughout this broadcast.
I got my mother, my brother, my sister, my lover, and I know it, I know it, I know it.
Tibugen hamdaksani,
Tibugen hamdaksani,
Ilang albettelsani,
Ilang albettelsani,
Dahamada heltawani,
Dahamada heltawani,
Ndatanda sumasi ashabulela, Hey tibugen hamdaksani, Hey hamdaksani, Ilang albettelsani.
Today's discussions revolved around a call for transformational leadership, with many of our speakers touching on various aspects of sustainability and social environmental impact. Our Honorable Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan reminded us this morning that Africa is rising, but that rise is not automatic. It comes with serious responsibilities and accountabilities. Rather, that rise will be sustained through the choices we make and the institutions we build. The Finance Minister made a powerful call for a transformational leadership. The financial services sector needs to support the real economy, where production happens and jobs are created. He reminded us that the impact of the financial crisis that happened in 2008 had a tremendous effect even in South Africa. And the impact that it has was that we lost 1 million jobs in South Africa, and we never recovered from those 1 million jobs that we have. He was putting pressure on us, even as professionals, that how we behave when we join these institutions, we need to behave in a manner that is actually have a focus in terms of the impact of the people, that we should make sure that greed doesn't actually overcome us. Leadership and governance is also critical for attracting investment. We've had today the panel of speakers whereby it was facilitated by CNBC, where they spoke a lot about how important is leadership. But the key important aspect that they highlighted is that we don't need to forget what colonization has done in this continent. That even as us Africans, as much as we're trying to collaborate with each other, we're still also trapped in that level of colonization. And that the African Union, which was founded here in South Africa when it was changed from OAU, has actually done a great job in terms of changing the focus of the African Union from political liberation into economic liberation. However, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also pleased to inform you that ABSIP really invests in its members and develop the young talent. This year, ABSIP joined forces with the Pan-African Youth Forum, organization that prepares and nurtures young people to be good entrepreneurs and also be real good leaders of the continent. We have sent 2 students from University of Johannesburg and also from the University of Witwatersrand to Abuja in Nigeria this year to go and represent ABSIP in that forum or discussion. And ABSIP is a member of the Pan-African Youth Development Forum. Again, we joined the forces with the Fordham University along with African Women Chartered Accountants in New York, whereby we have managed to send 5 of the delegates to go to the university to do the emerging market course and country risk. And I am pleased to inform you that it was also in collaboration with the University of Pretoria. And I got the message from the professor this morning that all our members that we have sent, they've actually topped the class. They even topped the Fordham University students in terms of their marks. At least they didn't let us down. These are just the examples of showing that ABSIP it is relevant, and ABSIP focus on the development and nurturing of the young talent in terms of making sure that in future we do have leaders that are honorable, leaders that have got the know-how in terms of leading the financial services sector.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I was sitting here with my president today, I said to her, but you didn't tell me that I would have to deliver a keynote address. She said, you are a patron. What's wrong with you? So I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to say, because as a patron, most of the things I wanted to say I've said in the few years that I've been a patron, and that is why people don't stay long as patrons. But ladies and gentlemen, if we reflect in 1994, we inherited a sophisticated financial sector that was far more. And ladies and gentlemen, I've made a few inputs I've contributed to a few documents of ABSIP. If you were to allow me, I was going to say I refer to those documents. The Black Book and the Pinnacle. But as I have stated, that we inherited a sophisticated financial sector that was far more advanced than those of other emerging markets. It remains so today, and it's one of our strong points when we go out there, and that is why we can proudly look back and say this is what we have achieved. But that sector left the majority of our population outside of the economic sector. Many of our people had no access to financial services, and those services, when available, did not cater for their specific needs. This is no surprise, because black people were hardly in any decision-making position in financial services firms. A lot, ladies and gentlemen, has changed since then. The financial services sector touches the lives of each and every South African and contributes to the real economy. We can therefore not be complacent about the strides that we have made, but should redouble our efforts to accelerate transformation in this sector. I want to congratulate those of you whose accomplishments we can celebrate, and hope that we are making the difference in our little corners. And we trust that it's the difference you make in other people's lives that count, rather than the difference that you make in your own life. Transformation, ladies and gentlemen, is a critical challenge for our country, and ABSIP plays a vital role in this area. When it comes to the financial sector specifically, as a member of the Financial Sector Charter Council, ABSIP is to be congratulated for its commitment and hard work in reaching an agreement between all stakeholders, and we will continue to celebrate that achievement in years to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm especially heartened by the two new elements in the Financial Sector Code: the empowerment, financing, and access to financial services. These elements are only in the Financial Sector Code and are not part of the broad-based Black Economic Empowerment Act's generic codes of good practice. Why are elements so important? Firstly, ladies and gentlemen, these two elements will expand and accelerate the transformation process by focusing on many financial services accessible to the unbanked and the underserved. Secondly, the previously disenfranchised will be empowered through the provision of affordable housing, financing of black SMMEs, and agricultural activities. Lastly, the two elements will facilitate investment in various forms of transformational infrastructure to create the necessary platforms to grow the economy on an equitable basis. This morning, ladies and gentlemen, you listened to the Minister of Finance, who actually dealt with issues pertaining to the global economic environment and issues that we grapple with at home, which arise as a result of our exposure to that situation and its contagion. And as I was reading his speech coming here, one of the things, and then somebody in the social media was saying he was whinging again. He's forgotten that South Africans must stand on their own feet and do things. I don't think that person actually listened to what the minister was talking about. Because we need to be aware of the environment in which you operate, the terrain in which we're exposed to, in order to be able to insulate ourselves against those and to continue the journey that we are undertaking. So some people, because of the they are disadvantaged of having not been part of the journey. They think that being at the top of this hill is the last hill.
I'm proud to mention that Transnet thus far has, in its collaboration, trained 91 chartered accountants, 47 of which have qualified and passed their board exams, and some of which are absorbed into Transnet. We've got chief financial officers of some of the divisions being the very people that joined our top program. And every year we take about 40 candidates through that program of top in partnership with SAICA. And we are happy to also partner with other areas of financial services to give the real exposure, job training at Transnet. And for this, I would like to congratulate those who were nominated and the winners, because being nominated by your own peers and being judged by your own peers is much greater than just doing it on your own. It's recognition of your excellence and skill and ability to impact on the industry, judged by your own peers. Thank you very much, and would like to enhance our partnership.
As Rand Merchant Bank, we believe in the overall objectives that ABSIP is trying to achieve, primarily being the transformation of the financial services industry in South Africa. And as the bank, there are various efforts that we put towards this initiative. I think it is without doubt that there is a long way to go, not only in South Africa, but also making an impact on the continent as the bank. I think some of you who attended the conference during the course of the day would have picked up the amount or the magnitude of challenges that we have. And one of the key things that I personally picked up was that as professional people in the financial services sector, we need to start putting ourselves and actually committing ourselves to big, audacious goals. You know, what is it that we need to actually achieve? And when I thought about that, I actually added another letter to that to say it needs not only to be big, but it also needs to be hairy. You know, it needs to be hairy in a sense that when you commit to something, it needs to be something that, you know, at face value, sometimes we might feel that it is not achievable. But we need to actually commit ourselves to that.
Well, there was a lot of joy and excitement in the air as the professionals went up the stage to receive their awards. After all, they had worked so hard throughout the year.
And the winner in the Corporate Financier of the Year category is Ms. Buyisiwe Makunga. In the Equity Dealer of the Year category is Mr. Laik van Heerden. The winner in the Fixed Income Dealer of the Year category is Mr. Andre Ross. The winner in this category, the CEO of the decade, is Mr. Thabo Dloti.
Because this is really not just about me, it's about the efforts that the people that have supported me, the organizations that I've worked for, the people that have mentored me to really play a role in this industry in making sure that it continues to transform. It continues to play a meaningful role in the lives of people at large, but in particularly in the lives of black people that still needs to actually be empowered through what we are doing in financial services. So I'm very grateful, and thank you very much.
Thank you. No nominees, and the winner in this category is Standard Bank.
therefore wonderful to be sitting in a continent which will be growing at above 7%, not just in South Africa, but in West Africa and in East Africa as well. In that sense, Africa's time has come. It's the African century. I'm proud to be an African, and we are proud to be Africans at Standard Bank, and ABSIP is making a huge contribution to the development of our beloved continent, and for that we thank you, Madam President. Thank you.
Please join us for another part of this series as we talk to the Deputy Minister of Finance, Mr. Nhlanhla Nene, about the role that public institutions play in funding the growth of the economy and the opportunities that they are creating.